Hi everyone. I know, I'm back. I'm sorry. I told you all on Thursday that it would be my last live until after I got out of hospital, but I'm back. I'm sorry. We couldn't help ourselves. We had an extra show to bring you. So thank you for joining again. I'll give everyone a minute to log in and then we'll introduce our next artist. So tonight we've got Dani Young joining us. She's been up to an awful lot. You've probably seen her doing so many things during isolation. So we're going to have a chat to her about all things isolation and her current single, which she's just released. So let us know what you've been doing, because this is the last time you'll see me actually live for a couple of weeks. We have got our premieres, so make sure you watch those. But I promise this is my last time for a couple of weeks. Hi, Shazza. Thank you for joining. Well, we might welcome Dani into the room. Hi.
Hello. This is so tricky. It's Dani and Dani.
I know. How random. You've got an amazing name. I like your name.
It's a pretty good name, but you've got one too many letters in there.
I do. I've got one extra N there for you. We've got people popping in already. We've got Shazza, who's just popped in and said hello. Can you see the comments on your screen?
No, I can't see the comments, but I can open up the Facebook page so I can make sure I see everything.
So Shazza's just joined and said hi, and Sue's just popped in and said hi.
Who's my mum, by the way?
Oh, is it? Hi, Mum. Robert said hello, Dani and Danielle. He's been doing a lot of bushwalking.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, lovely. It's been way too cold down here to bushwalk. It was snow down to 500 metres this morning. So,
wow.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Sydney, so I'm here at the moment. I do have a heater on behind me because I do like to be toasty warm, but it's certainly not as cold as where you are.
No, it's been awful this week. Hi, Jan. Thank you for jumping in. No, we've got lots of people popping in. Well, wow, isolation for you has not been slow. There's no
it's
slowing
down. Still.
You have been the entertainment for us through isolation, because Friday nights I've looked forward to so much. Celebrity Country Quiz, where did that idea came from? I know you did it in Tamworth.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Spicks and Specks on the ABC and Rock Whiz on SBS, and I watched those for years and years. And I always imagined what it would be like if I went on one of those shows. And I'm sure sitting at home, you think you know all the answers, but you probably don't quite get them all correct when you're on the show. And I was just thinking, ahead of Tamworth last year, probably this time last year, I was starting to think about the Tamworth Country Music Festival in January. And I was just thinking, I've been kind of doing the same thing for a few years and just trying to play as many gigs as I can, get exposure, get more paid gigs as well. And I just thought, what can I do to stand out and be different? And I just had this idea of, what if I was to host a country music game show and invited all sorts of artists to come on and play? And I just sort of started creating the idea from there and made it happen. So for Tamworth in January this year, I managed to get two really cool teams together, and we're raising money for Support Act, who are always there for musicians in crisis. And it was just such an awesome show. But, after Tamworth was done, it was like, well, what am I going to do now? I started pitching it to other major music festivals, but most of those major music festivals have not gone ahead this year. So I thought, I need to do something while I'm in isolation. And I just thought, what if I could make this go online? So I just figured it out, and I've been doing it online every week for the last, I think, 9 weeks now.
Yeah, I've missed 2. That's all I've missed, but it's been fantastic. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's great. But I think we should trade spots. I think you should play 1 week.
I think that's a great idea. Are you going to provide the questions then?
I will do the questions. I've got so many my information on country music that's stored. We can do the questions. We can do that. Let's do it.
What if maybe Country Kickback does a takeover 1 week, and you and Beck come up with the questions and I have to play the quiz?
Yes, definitely. I think we're onto something here. Yes. I think 3 weeks' time, I'll be out of hospital and clear, and we can do it. 3 weeks' time when I have a voice back.
That
That's
sounds
important.
perfect. And it gives you something to work on while you're recovering as well.
Yeah, let's do it. I've got 25 questions, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhere between 20 and 25 questions is how we do it.
How have you been coming up? Have you been researching every week?
Yes, so I was able to sort of sneakily reuse some of the questions from the January live show because that was a 2-hour show, so there were a lot of questions. And so I've been researching each week. I've also been able to get Aaron Darcy to play guitar riffs each week. So he comes up with 3 guitar riffs. And then Renee Jonas comes up with 3 songs where she sings from a book like they do on Spicks and Specs. So she takes out the real words and sings the words from the book that's in front of her. And we have to try and guess what the song is. So that's been really helpful to have Aaron and Renee collaborate with me on this and provide a few questions each week. And then I just have to research all the rest. So I've been learning so much about country music.
You would. It'd be great. Absolutely. No,
I think it hit me about week 4 where I was like, 25 questions a week. This is week 4. I've now researched 100 country music questions. And it's a lot further than week 4 now. So I've come up with hundreds of questions.
You have. It's been amazing. Do you think you could remember them all? If you got the questions back, do you think you'd remember?
Yes.
You would. Yep.
I'm a very visual learner. So once I see something and have it like written down in front of me, I can remember what it looks like. So I reckon if I got any of the questions that I've asked in the past, I think I would know the answer for sure.
That's exciting. Well, we will definitely test you. I'm going to put my brain to working and we'll do this. This is an extra set of questions. Test you. I love it. This is good. We can do this. Now, not only have you been doing Celebrity Country Quiz, but you've also got your midday show that you're running now. Tell us again where the idea for that came and how that's going for you.
Well, this one is kind of interesting because I was actually approached by InView TV. They had seen me running my Celebrity Country Music Quiz show, and they just generally seen me online a fair bit. Bruce Mott from InView TV has sort of been following me for a little while. And he just thought, I think you'd be a good host. So InView TV has sort of moved more online in COVID times, and they wanted to introduce a music show. And then they were thinking maybe we could make it specifically country music because there's certainly enough of a fan base and enough artists in that genre. Yeah. And then when they were thinking about a host, very happily I sprung to mind. So Bruce Mott approached me to start running a show on InView TV. And so that's been going for about 5 weeks now. And I'm really enjoying it because I have a background as a radio host. As soon as I left school, I actually started as a radio host on a drive time show in a community radio station in Sydney. And I've been working in TV. I was trained as a journalist. I worked as a journalist. I still work in TV to this day. So it's really like combining everything that I do, my day job and my music job all together to host a country music show. And I was just thinking, you know, I wish there was more of it, especially with CMC going. It's really, you know, we need more TV platforms like Country Kickback and like so many things that we're seeing online these days. We need them to really continue and to keep giving country music a platform because there are fans. There are so many fans.
Absolutely. It's huge, especially here in Australia. And I think Brendan's just popped a message up for you. He said Midday Muster is a great show, and he said it changes his lunch hour to take it in. That is good.
Thank you so much, Brendan. He's been a great help to the show as well, not only as a supporter. Sometimes he sends me news articles to include in my news roundup as well. So thanks, Brendan, for all your help on the show.
It's so lovely. They do so much for Country Kickback. All the posts you see, Brendan and Glenda, they're just amazing. So they do so much for this industry. We need to get them on one night, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Brendan's been doing very good on the quiz show as well. He set a new personal best and came second last week.
He did. I saw that. Very excited. I couldn't play last week, and I watched and I saw the scores, and I thought that's fantastic. Brendan, now someone from Country Kickback has commented and said Brendan has been killing the quiz. I'm not sure if it's Nick or Darren. Let us know who it is because it's come up as Country Kickback. So they're on. It was Beck. Beck's on watching from. She's in the car. She's laughing at us. She's watching from YouTube because we're actually live on YouTube as well at the moment.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so they have been doing an amazing job. But with all these things that you're going on, how have you had time to release a single?
That's a good question. There's not been a lot of time, but I can't sit still. And I just really, when I've got things I'm passionate about, sometimes I work best when I've got lots of projects going on. And Outback Lullaby is a song I've kind of had in my back pocket for a little while now. And I was a bit nervous about it. I wasn't really sure what to do with it because I just had the niggling feeling that a lot of people just wouldn't get it. It was too different, too out there. And
Different.
then when COVID struck, I was in the middle of being on tour and I was about to head over to South Australia for the next part of my tour. And I had all these big music festivals coming up and they'd all been cancelled. And I was just feeling really sad about it for a few weeks, just thinking, oh, I just feel like I'm going to move backwards in this time. And I just thought, what can I do right now to make sure that I'm not just waiting this out, but making progress while this COVID period is happening? So I started the two live stream shows. And then I thought, this song, Outback Lullaby, I've never been quite sure what to do with it, but it was the one song I thought, because I'm not sure, I've always wanted to experiment with it. So I thought right now is the perfect time to do things a bit differently, think outside the box, and just try things that I might have been too afraid to do before. So I just decided I'm going to release the song myself. I'm going to distribute it myself. I'm going to do all the marketing myself. I'm going to make the music video myself. Going to do all the graphics, the publicity, everything, and just see how we go, because I've had these skills up my sleeve for a while now, and I've just thought it's such an uncertain time at the moment. A lot of radio stations are being closed down, so why don't I just do something different and do something that costs me $0?
Exactly. Yep. Perfect. Well, you've done a great job, because I remember the first time I heard the song, and I've listened to it quite a few times, but then on top of that, I always listen before we do a show, which is funny because I listen to the song first up as a country music fan, because that's what we all are, essentially. We all love music. So I listen to it as a fan first, and then I start to listen to it again as it comes to doing our shows. And it's so different, and yet every time I listen to it, it grabs me in a different way. Something else stands out about the song, and I love it. You've done a great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
When you were writing the song, was you planning on doing it the way it turned out? Was it something that just happened the way it went?
It's definitely something that just happened. So I actually wrote the song with Damien Leith who won Australian Idol all those years ago, but he's done many more accomplished things since then. He's not just Australian Idol winner. But I had sort of run into him at a few industry events, but I'd been a little nervous to sort of properly say hello and say, hey, I'd really like to write a song with you. And I was really thinking about it, and I was really trying to get my courage up to ask him to write a song. I had it all worked out in my head, and then I chickened out. And that very same week, he sent me a DM on Instagram saying, hey, do you want to come to my studio and write a song? I was like, wow, we must be on some psychic wavelength there. So I walked into the studio, and he'd already been working on a few lines, which are actually the first couple of lines to Outback Lullaby. And so the very first time we met each other, we just wrote Outback Lullaby, and it just sort of flew out organically. We didn't set out to write anything in particular. There was no guidelines, I want it to sound like this. It was just, let's just see where these words take us. And I think because Damien is so outside the box for country music, like he's dabbled in country music, but he does so many other things. He's very cinematic in everything that he does, very dramatic. And so it was just an interesting combination. You can hear my earthy, country, folky influence, and then you can hear his big, cinematic, dreamy influence throughout it all as well.
I love it. And that's why I think I like it, because some moments you get everything. And I think sometimes with a song you need that, especially with what we've been going through lately. I love it. I think it's great. It just reminds us we can still dream.
Yeah, and I think I was just saying today that I think this is actually the perfect timing for me to have released this song that I was so nervous about and thinking people wouldn't get it and how does it fit into the country music world. I feel like this moment in time is actually the perfect time because we've been stuck inside. We've been in really uncertain times, feeling anxious, feeling confused and sad. And this song is dreamy. It's about forget about what's happening right now and just like let your mind escape to our beautiful Australian countryside. Let
Yeah.
the earth sing you to sleep. Look up at the stars. And that's what I'm trying to capture in my video clip as well that I'm working on. So I think it's just worked out perfectly that everyone wants an escape right now and everyone wants something to help them de-stress. And so
Yeah.
Outback Lullaby has really filled a hole in the market right now and had some great response to it already. So I'm really happy.
Are you looking forward to getting the chance to perform this song live? Do you think that this will be an easy song to perform live?
It is definitely not an easy song to perform
No.
live. I have never performed this song live, actually, and it's not because of the vocals, it's because of the guitar work. Damon Leith wrote the guitar work, and I've even like filmed his hands playing it so that I could perfectly
Oh,
copy it. But it is hard. It is very hard. It's all up and down the neck, doing very interesting things. And I've just kind of just for a little while I put it in the too hard basket and just thought I need to work on my guitar before I can do this live. But I'll have to get it organized because now
yeah.
I've released the song, people are going to want to hear it.
Absolutely. I love that. The challenge, the challenge in it for you and us.
Challenge.
I love that. Now, I know you've got lots coming in the next. You've got other songs and an album that you're about to release. Is this a lead up to what this album's going to be like and these songs that you've got coming?
Well, originally this record started as a 5-track EP, and the idea was just to explore a bit and just find all the different aspects of Dani and the different styles I'd like to do. So it's all within country music, of course, but some of it's very soul influenced, some of it's a little bit rock influenced. Outback Lullaby is a bit more folk influenced.
Yeah.
And so it started as this EP, and since then I keep adding more things to it. So I've now got 2 live performance versions of tracks, and I've also got Keep on Loving You, which I released a couple of months ago because a huge opportunity came up for me to re-record a new version of REO Speedwagon's Keep on Loving You.
Yep.
So it's kind of turned into a bit of an LP now. And I think it's just a reflection of me. And as a person, I have really diverse influences and I've had a really interesting journey to country music. And I think you can hear all the different elements of that journey into country music on the EP. So I wouldn't say it all sounds like one thing. It sounds like lots of different shades of Dani.
Yep. I love that. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Just before we go on, Karen has popped a comment in. She said she loves that "Let the Earth Sing You to Sleep." And that's beautiful.
Yeah, well, if you've ever been in the outback and you've just thrown down a swag and just slept looking straight up at the stars, you'll feel like in the silence around you, and it's like deafening silence. You almost feel this energy from the earth coming up, and it's just electric, and it's hypnotic, and you just lull off to sleep, and the earth sings you to sleep.
Beautiful. Gives you goosebumps when you think about it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time sleeping in swags and I just love it. It's
Me too.
the sort of place where you can really just see every detail of the Milky Way, and it's beautiful.
Absolutely. We're so lucky here because we can see it, and we can do that. We can just chuck the swag in the back of the car and off we go.
Absolutely.
And especially now we're allowed back out camping. How perfect.
Well, here in New South Wales, I think all the borders are still closed, so I can't get out of New South Wales, but I'm sure there's some great spots in New South Wales to throw down a swag as well.
We're stuck in our own borders down here, but I honestly don't think I can complain. What better a place can I be stuck in than Tassie? So
yeah.
Now I haven't seen you. It'd have to be close to 12 months coming since I seen you live. You were in, I think, Melbourne when I last saw you. So what plans? You were with Angus Gill, I think, when we last saw you play. Oh, in Tamworth when I last saw you out. So what plans have you got for going back out on the road when you're allowed to? Have you got a tour ahead that you're thinking?
I don't have any plans yet. I think it's been a really difficult climate to make any solid plans in.
Yeah.
And as I said, I was in the middle of a tour that, the end half got cancelled when all the restrictions happened. So I would love to be able to continue my South Australia tour dates that I never got to. But I think even though things are sort of returning to a new normal, a lot of small venues have really taken a hard hit.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really have the cash flow at the moment to be putting on too many performers. I don't know. I think every venue's situation is different, but I
Yeah.
don't think anyone should be thinking that just because restrictions are lifted, music's going to be back. I think it's
Yeah.
going to take a little while for those venues to recover and be able to afford to have musicians come and tour.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think that's the other side is we've got to remember our musicians can't play for nothing. We've been this long without money, you know, people need to take.
Yeah, as much as I do, I love to sing. I can't do it when I'm making a loss. I need to be able to at least cover my costs, and
Exactly.
it'd be nice to make a living from music. And I do happily, I'm able to make more and more of my income from music every year, and I'm always so excited when tax time comes and I add up the figures and I go, yes, that's more than last year.
Yes.
But yeah, unfortunately, like we do have to, and I'm sure some people have seen the emails some venues have been putting out asking
Yeah.
musicians to come and busk in the venues or play for extremely reduced rates. And I just don't think we can. I think we need to stand strong with the value of music. And if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So if you want to hear some good music, pay
We've got
properly
to
to artists.
accept. It's like any industry. We've got to keep it going. We've got to keep
Mm.
to it as much as we can. And I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that we are lucky about in this family that we have, this amazing country music family, is we have got so many fans and artists. We support each other, as in we will buy merchandise, we buy tickets, we all go out of our way to support the
Mm.
industry. We are lucky, so we will get through this.
I'm sure we will get through it. I just don't have a solid timeline yet of when I'll be back on the road. I wish I did. I actually had one of my festivals that got cancelled, did try to reschedule for September in a smaller
Yeah.
form. And they rang me up the other day and said, look, we're going to have to cancel September as well and just do next year.
Yeah.
So my calendar at the moment is completely blank. So if anyone's, looking to hire an artist, feel free to give me a call. My calendar's wide open.
Absolutely. Well, come to Tassie. Well, actually, we had artists playing on the weekend. But the shows were sold out. I thought, oh, I'll wait and see what I do, how I'm feeling. I went into town and they were sold out. You couldn't get in. So when the borders open, come to Tassie.
Well, I think I'll be in touch with you then. When I can get into Tassie and I'm not
Yeah.
deemed a health risk, then I will come and you can let me know where to play.
We can find plenty of venues for you. Now, tell us, you've had such a history in the industry, going from radio when you left school right through to journalism and making your own music. What was your draw to country music? What was your introduction and what made you stay in this genre?
Yeah, well, my whole life I've been a singer, but I sort of tried lots of different genres and never really found where I fit in. And I never found the little pocket where I was inspired to write music either. So when I left uni as a fully trained journalist, I decided to take a real job in the real world as a journalist, which we also know is a dying medium. And I moved to Alice Springs. So, as a city girl with no experience being further west than, Western Sydney, I decided to pack my bags and completely solo move to the centre of Australia. And when
Wow.
I took that job in radio in Alice Springs, I met Warren H. Williams on my first day of work, and I didn't know who he was. Uh, quickly made a fool of myself by not knowing who he was, and someone points to the platinum records on the wall. And from there, I just got introduced to country music. He gave me a lot of artists to listen to, especially a lot of the leading ladies of country music, like Loretta Lynn, Emmylou Harris, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, Alison Krauss, so many amazing female singers. And I would listen to them and think, wow, my voice could do that. Actually, I think that would really suit me. So then we just started writing country music from there, and suddenly all these opportunities popped up for me. And it was just like the doors had opened. And from the outside looking into the music industry, it's all very mysterious and you don't quite know how it works. You kind of have the idea that someone needs to discover you, maybe you need to go on a reality show, or maybe just need to be busking on the street at the right time and someone will walk down the street and go, I'm going to make you a star. But realistically, it doesn't work like that. And
it's a nice dream.
no, it's a bit of a pipe dream. But with country music, it just felt so clear of your pathway forward. There's so many clear infrastructure things in place. Like you can go to the academy. I didn't go to the academy. I kind of wish I did. You can go to the academy. You can go to songwriting retreats. You can go to Tamworth Country Music Festival. You can apply for other festivals. You can release your songs to radio just by using these different publicists.
Yeah.
And suddenly you can build a career, and it was quite transparent with how you do that. Whereas I find with especially pop music, I wouldn't have a clue how anyone gets a break in pop music. It's just luck of the draw, really.
It is. It's put your name in a hat, I think. Yes. No, I'm very glad that you stayed in country music, and I know everyone watching today is. But, I mean, I love that music today, you know, as much as there's not a clear pathway for all these other genres, we do branch out now as Whiskey Lullaby, as your current single does, Outback Lullaby. I always go with Whiskey.
Oh man, I wish I wrote Whiskey Lullaby. It's a great song.
In my head. I was actually listening to that today at work, so it's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. But Outback Lullaby is that because it's not one. It's a mix, and it just works. And I think it just shows that, what did Slim Dusty say? Country music added to the sound. It just mixes it. I love that. So that's so exciting.
And I think music always has to evolve. I mean, even when Dolly Parton was releasing music, people were telling her that's not real country music. But, you know, she created the new sound. And now these days people will say something's not country music if it doesn't sound like Dolly Parton. So I think it's a silly argument to argue about what's real country and what's not real country. I think country music's a feeling. It's about a sense of place. It's about your roots and telling a story. And everything else is just the details. So I love pushing the boundaries, because that's how we keep the genre that we love alive. That's how we keep new artists being interested. That's how we get new fans to be interested.
Yeah, it is. And I know you have some amazing supporting fans that just
I do.
You've got look at the people in the room tonight. They're just absolutely amazing. You've got a great team behind you.
We've got Ronnie Manton, we've got Robert Holmes, we've got some Michelle Gardner. We've got so many people that always tune into all my live streams that have supported me for years even, and they come to my shows, they come and watch everything online as well. They buy my CD. And, you know, without the fans, where would we be? We'd be singing in our bedroom to no one.
Exactly. Now, speaking of which, where can we find your single? What can we do if we want to buy your single and your merchandise? Where can we find all that?
Okay, so my new single, Outback Lullaby, is available on all digital music platforms now. So you can go and find it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, iTunes, I don't know, Deezer, Amazon, all the platforms where you can find music. You will find my music there because I'm very thorough. And in terms of buying merchandise, some people have asked me, is Outback Lullaby on a physical single that they can buy? But people don't really make physical singles these days. We just kind of make the albums. And even then, album sales are, you know, getting pretty low these days. But it will be on my upcoming record. So you can't buy it just yet, but you will soon. You will this year. But if you want to buy, I've got hats. I've got my previous CD, which was nominated for a Golden Guitar. I've got various merch items. You can just find that on my website or on my Facebook page. So if you go to www.daniyoung.net, that is my Facebook page, my website. Or if you go on my Facebook page, there's a little shop tab and you can browse what I've got there as well.
So what we need to do when we finish here, guys, is head over to Dani Young's Facebook page, like the page if you're on Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, because we've got a few YouTube listeners tonight, watchers tonight, jump on and subscribe. If you press subscribe, then you get updates. You know when someone's got something new that will let you know. So press subscribe and head over to the website and order whatever merch you want tonight.
Yeah, and I have been putting a few interesting things on my YouTube channel as well, because I've been trying to pay a bit more attention. There's so many social media platforms to pay attention to.
I know.
But during isolation, I decided to edit together 2 tour videos from my tours right before everything got cancelled. And so you
Perfect.
can come behind the scenes with me. You come in the car, you come and see me set up at the gig, you see me talk to the fans that have come to see me perform, and then you get my sort of wrap up of things I realized I did wrong and things that I realized I did right. So you can
Yes.
find all that on my YouTube videos as well.
I love that. You get the whole story all the way through.
And all the bloopers as well. There's plenty of bloopers.
Oh, bloopers are great. Bloopers are fun. Robert Holmes has popped in. He said, love supporting independent artists such as yourself, Dani. Robert Holmes is a very big supporter of music. I met Robert in Tamworth this year, so he supports everyone. He's wonderful.
He does. He's a big supporter of country music. You'll always see him wearing a T-shirt and a hat of probably 2 different country music artists, and he'll be at every gig.
He will be, absolutely, 100%. He just keeps going. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I can't believe that it's gone so quick, actually. The time's flown. But
time has flown. There's so many interesting things to talk about.
I know. You've had such an exciting few months. It's been exciting watching you. So next we'll see you on Friday night at
Absolutely.
7:30. So that's the Celebrity Country Music Quiz Show. So if they like that on Facebook.
Yes, so Celebrity Country Music Whiz with a W, whiz like rock whiz. Celebrity Country Music Whiz has its own Facebook page, but I do also live stream it on my Facebook page, and you can actually watch it here on Country Kickback as well, because you guys are fantastic supporters of mine and you cross-post a lot of my live streams. So there's a few places you can watch it, and best of all, when you're watching it, you can play along at home and see if your score beats our celebrities. And it is real. It is very real, because we have had fans beat the celebrities. So I would love you to do that.
You have, and you can. It is so exciting to play along. I get quite competitive behind the screen when I'm not live. I sit there and I have people watching me or friends on the phone. I'm like, right now you need to stop talking because I'm playing. Like, we just need to do 1 minute because I'm serious now. So jump over and play with us, because it is so much fun and you learn so much about country music.
Yeah, that's what I was really aiming for with the questions. It's a real mix. There's a lot of Australian stuff. There's a lot of US country music history as well. And it's always just about, you know, who's been paying attention on social media to the latest news, and also what can we learn this week. So I was looking up a lot of Australian history questions for this week. So things to do with Joy McKean's sister's name from last week's episode. I'm not giving you previews of this week.
I'm not giving you the answer. I'm going to play on Friday night. I'll be from the hospital bed playing. So this is going to be fun. Australian country music is my favourite topic. So let's see how we
give you a little preview of who some of the contestants might be on Friday night. I have invited the 2 main boys from Simply Bushed, Paul Grierson and Chris Rieger, to go up against each other. So expect some rivalry this Friday night.
Rivalry and banter between those 2. That's going to be one funny night.
I think so.
I cannot wait. I will be watching. And I am pretty sure that Beck will be playing along too, because she's tough to beat.
She is tough to beat, and also she really gets into the trash talk. She is very competitive.
Yes.
She takes it very seriously.
She does. You know, I cannot wait until Tamworth this year, because I'm hoping you do another one and I will be there, because last time I don't think I'd quite arrived in Tamworth when you had it live, but I will make sure that I fly over for this one. It's going to be lots.
I'm definitely planning to have a big live show at Tamworth again this year. I'm still deciding on where it might be. We've just had the great news that Tamworth will be going ahead. We just don't know exactly what it will look like this year for the festival, but fingers crossed it can go ahead fairly normally and we can bring you a big quiz show. And I'm hoping if we have good enough internet connection, the audience in their seats will actually be able to play along on their phones as well.
Love this. This is great. Do we get one of those buttons, you know, where everyone can say?
Well, the celebrities on the stage get the buttons, but I don't think I can get a button for every audience member.
Just have these visions of, you know, those buttons, no or yes.
We did have those last year. We had big buzzers for people to buzz in for each team.
Love this. This is going to be fun. So if you're in Tamworth, make sure you get along to watch not only Dani's concerts and her shows, but her celebrity country quiz show as well, because it's going to be great fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you so much for having me on Country Kickback. This is my first time on the show, and I really appreciate you having me on and letting me ramble for for 30 minutes. But
we had you on here with a couple of your singing. We've had your performances on here before. Last year, I did a couple of videos from one of your shows, and everyone loved it. So it's so exciting to have you on and chatting. Everyone's been looking forward to this. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And Country Kickback is another really important way of keeping our country music industry alive, because we need fans to be hearing about all the news. We need them to be interested in the new music and know what's on, so they can go and show that they care about it by coming to the gig. So thank you for having Country Kickback, giving us artists another platform where we can share everything we're working on.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you again, and thank you guys for joining. Now, on Thursday night, we will be premiering a live show, and I'll be typing away, and so you can still join in like you did tonight. It will just be a pre-recorded version. So please come along on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And thank you again, Dani. We will see you again very soon, I hope.
I hope so too.
Thanks, guys. See you later.